at the service line in a long time as a hit comes and it should stay in bounds, and it does.
On to serve, dug out by Bishop, this to the middle, and slamming one home for...
Serves over, dug out by Brodzinski. Jones now an attack by Dylan Miller, killed good.
And free ball to the crossover. Eilertson will get the pass for Holly, set up left side, Rusted down with the kill.
Set it up, Bostena left side, big kill blocked at the net, kept alive by the Greyhounds.
So Jones setting across court, here's Sip with a right-handed kill. The attempt is in.
And a reserve goes to Kiera Johnson, a libero, but mishandles it, it's an ace.
Jensen Richmond to Crockett. Crockett able to get it over. This one comes to the middle again. Cope gets the kill.
Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on YourLiveEvent.com.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. I'm Joe Lancello. We'll be focusing on high school volleyball in Minnesota and North Dakota this week. We'll get things started by turning over to my colleague, Kevin Kochmann. He'll be talking with Jim Lee, the coach of the Ada Borup West Cougars.
All right, welcome into YourLiveEvent.com and the Coaches Show. Joe Lancello is going to join with additional volleyball coaches as we preview this week. Opening things up here tonight with Ada Borup West volleyball head coach Jim Lee back for another year. And Jim, obviously, we're just underway. Minnesota volleyball practice began on Monday, and the season is underway. And for the Cougar volleyball program, lots returning to your experience in the varsity this year.
Yeah, we've got a lot returning. We have Izzy Markuson and Maddie Steen. We also have Lauren Thompson. Morgan Engel got some great experience there. Adriana, again, Sarah Prunzinski, Lauren Thompson, Dylan Miller. I mean, that's a lot of bodies that I just numbered off there. Most teams don't quite return as many with as much experience as we do, and a lot of them are 2-3 year returners too. So we're eager for this year to go and start.
No doubt. Looking back to a year ago, 23 wins. You had talked to me about last year around this time saying we might surprise some people.
Yes.
And you did.
Yes. Then we got surprised in the playoffs.
That's
Kitson
true.
really came to play in the playoffs, and they upset Lake of the Woods, and they upset us in two phenomenal matches. And then they had a match point there to go to state against Badger, and Badger came back to go and win that in 5 to head to state there. So Kitson upset us in the end there, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen this season.
For the girls, I'm sure just getting at it, you had some summer opportunities and plenty of chances for the kids to improve. Did they do that here this year?
To a point. I would say, you still have in the summertime, when you play teams, you're not exactly sure who's there for your team or the other team because, naturally you got kids that are injured or on vacation or are just in other sports with other dynamics that are happening, whether it's practice or with other tournaments and stuff. So you're not really sure who you're playing, if it's a full squad or if we're putting a full squad on. But for the most part, we got as many reps as we wanted.
For this year's program, you talk about some scrimmages upcoming and then opening the season here when we turn the calendar closer to the month of September. But what are the opportunities here you have for some scrimmages?
Well, we got Barnesville, we got the Moorhead scrimmage, and then we got the Concordia scrimmage there. So we do have some opportunities for our first match of the year against Barnesville, which will be a tough match on the road there. It's always tough at their place. They got a great atmosphere in their gym. So we got some opportunities to go and improve and get some kids on the court that haven't been used to being put in a position at the varsity level. They're used to JV, but not varsity. So I want to give them experience before the season starts.
When you look at grades 9 through 12, total numbers, what are we looking at here that's in camp?
36 this year.
36 kids. Good numbers.
Fine. I think 34 would be perfect. 36 is fine. We were looking at, 40 to 42 before trial started. It's it's where are we going to put the kids or playing time and everything like that. 36 is definitely doable now. That's a good number. That's a good number.
We will look at volleyball on the Minnesota side. Some changes for just the setup here. We've had some changes in recent years with extending the state tournament from classes. What are we looking at for volleyball changes this year?
So the rule changes, one of them be that we won't be switching benches in matches. When we get to the state tournament, you will have that option because you either have the black backdrop or else you have to look into the crowd. So some coaches feel that there is a distinct advantage and some don't. Playoffs, we're not sure yet. State high school is going to go ahead and wait and see when we get closer to the playoffs if they're going to make any change with that. But right now during the regular season, if that's your side, you stay on that side. So in regards to that, it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. I think that for just a normal home match, I don't think most ceilings or anything on a home court, I don't think it's a problem. Some of the smaller outstate schools. The city schools don't have to think about that, or like a Moorhead or anything, but the smaller outstate ones do. Or for a tournament, I think it might really impact some teams there too. So with us, it's not going to impact us, but with some other teams, it definitely might. And then come playoff time, I mean, we'll have to wait and see if they're going to go and switch it then too. That's the first rule. Second rule is that we're not going to shake hands at the beginning of the matches anymore, just at the end.
Okay.
So that'll be a little bit different than what we're used to in the past, and even the last year we're just doing the wave, which is kind of awkward for everybody. So I think it's just going to be the shaking of the hands at the end there. Then even one of the rules that we're looking at switching here in the future, but it's going to be passed by the National Federation, not our state federation in Minnesota, is like in JOs, in the Olympics, and college volleyball, they're allowed to go and stand at the end of the bench. So we're not able to do that this year. We're not going to be able to do that next year. I'm not saying that. But we're looking at possibly seeing if that's an option to go and change it, because right now, not Minnesota, but all high schools, that's the only level of volleyball that you can't go and stand at the end of your bench. And if I'm a girl that's, or even a boy in high school volleyball in Minnesota now, that if you're sitting on the bench and you're going to be subbed in, I think you want to be standing up, getting into the match. I mean, you can celebrate more. It's a little bit tougher just being sitting on the bench, okay, now let's get in there. So, I mean, I think I like what I see from the college game when you got the girls at the end and they're jumping up and down and they're celebrating and top 10 each other and high-fiving and everything like that. We don't have that at the high school level as much, and I wish that we did. So we'll see further down the road if that's on the rule that gets changed.
As far as the Ada Borup West Cougars are concerned, looking at the spot, like you said, returning a lot of talent, returning a lot of experience. When you look at some of the keys for success, what do you want to see from your kids now over these next couple of weeks leading up to that first match? Injury-free, no question about that. It looked like yesterday there was a couple of girls that they're a little tight, or even their feet were like tired from standing so much. So we'll go ahead and see if we can take some time off here in the future just to go ahead and rectify that a little bit, but definitely injury-free. I mean, less contacts with the athletic trainer, more contacts on the court. That's what we want this season. I like that. Pine Prairie Conference, some good volleyball again this year, some good competition.
Well, you're going to have here is going to be Fossen returning a good senior class. Then their senior class is definitely going to go ahead and lead them. They got the experience the last couple of years. They're going to use it this year. You got Fertile will be a good squad, but I think the squad nobody's talking about are Christian. They returned everybody. The coach is back. She's a great person. I really respect her. Just a great person. She's intense. I can see her practice being really intense with the girls. And if they return everybody, and they're not even seniors, and some of them are going to be like juniors. I mean, so they still have a couple more years here. And they look pretty good here this summer. That's the team that I think is going to surprise people.
Okay. Section 8.
Badger and Lake of the Woods. They're definitely the cream of the crop here, and they're both on the other side there, thankfully, until teams get to the semifinals. But Lake of the Woods is another team, even in the state, that people don't talk about. And I think that they did a really good job there last year. I mean, they're a really tough serving team. They have a very well-balanced offense. The coach is really intense. It gets the most out of our kids. And most teams don't get to see them. So when you see me there at a tournament or even on your schedule, it's like, okay, this is Lake of the Woods. I mean, we just don't get to see them a lot. And definitely Badger. I mean, they return everybody. I mean, the coach's kid is the setter, and plus she's got another young one coming up there who's very athletic and a little bit taller than the setter there, and just going to fit right into the lineup. I mean, Badger has no holes. I mean, they're ready to go right from the start. And you can see them over the summer here that they've picked up right where they left off. So, and you can see that they feel like they belong in the state again this year.
For Ada Borup West Volleyball, what's returning as far as a coaching staff with you, Coach Lee?
Well, we have Jana Engel, thankfully, returning again for the JV, Amy Johnson at the C team, and then we'll have our new counselor here, Brooke Hunstead, will go ahead and be the junior high coach. And she's going to be an intense, high-energy coach, so it's good to have her on staff.
Fantastic. And I'm sure you're excited about the season. You want to see the team peak at the right times, right? So you're not excited about how things maybe will start, but how you finish is what you're looking forward to.
Correct. And even in this year, when you have 2 full weeks off here in August before the season starts, like, what? And then last week in July there, we had a bunch of girls on a church retreat, and I was preoccupied there too. So that's basically, we looked really good at the end of the summer there. Then we got 3 weeks off. Now it's like back to ground zero. Now we got to slowly keep building it back up into where we were at the end of the summer.
Certainly looking forward to the season, Coach. I appreciate you taking the time and joining us here for the preseason previews, and we'll look forward to chatting again and getting ready for Game 1. And first varsity action is, again, on the road in Barnesville, right?
Our first 3 matches, I think, are on the road. 3 or 4. I think it's the first 3. Then at Crookston, and then at Sacred Heart, I think, are the first 3. So I think that we have our first home and then our home tournament there.
That's right. And the home tournament, the Ruth Hayden Tournament of Roses, expanded this year.
Correct. Went from 12 to 16 teams. We'll put up a couple courts in the Cougar Den. Then we lost Stephen Argyle. They dropped out, but we entered Thief River Falls, Dilworth, Hawley, and Bagley, and Red Lake Falls.
Okay.
So we added 5 and dropped 1. So we'll have 16 teams. So a lot more banging on that day. It would be a lot of fun here.
September 10th should be a great day. Ada Borup West Volleyball action for the Ruth Hayden Tournament of Roses. So, Jim Lee, thank you for your time, and we'll look forward to the season.
First of many here, Kevin. Thank you much.
You got it. Ada Borup West Volleyball head coach Jim Lee.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. Thanks very much for all the compliments we had on last week's program. And of course, we're going to be available for the whole week on YourLiveEvent.com as well as on YouTube. There's a new kid in girls high school volleyball and for all sports on the varsity level at that matter in North Dakota, and that is the Horace Hawks out of West Fargo. I had a chance to talk with their coach, Hadley Steffen, and she's looking forward to the challenge of a new season, a first varsity season. Welcome back to the Coaches Show. We are joined now by Hadley Steffen, the coach of the West Fargo Horace Hawks, and this is an unusual situation. You're a brand new team, not quite like an expansion team, because I'm sure the kids have known each other, but this is going to be your first year playing varsity.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun and learning experience for us. We're not going to have a senior class, lower class, and a lot of freshmen and sophomores involved in the program.
Been playing together, your girls have, for the last couple of years, just at the lower levels, right?
Yeah, so last year they played JV and C squad, and a few of them have played club ball together outside of the volleyball season.
Okay. It's a little bit early in the proceedings. How do things look so far? What are your expectations for the coming season?
My expectations, as always, they're going to be high for my girls. I'm going to push them to their full potential, but I have a lot of girls that are like ready to learn and they're ready to get their hands dirty. And so my expectations are that they're coachable and that they believe in themselves. And I think they don't get discouraged. Obviously, we're going to be a young team. They need to know that, and they do know that. But that's going to be hard if we have our ups and downs during the season.
How have they done the last couple of years against kids their own ages?
I think last year they did really well on the JV side of things. I know they're 16-17 level, but I think it's going to be a building year this year. I know that the girls like want to be there. They want to. We're going to kind of just throw them in the ringer and go from there. I think we got to start somewhere. So that's why we're pushing varsity this year.
Who are some girls that we should keep an eye out for to watch this season? Some names to keep an eye on.
Yeah. So Shaylee, she'll be one of our outside. Gabby Sterlickson, she'll be on the right side potentially. Jaden Hale, Kelby Christofferson. We have a lot of hitters, and Alyssa Summerfield, she'll be in a DS libero position.
I'm guessing for the girls, it's been a lot like the old Tom Petty song, the waiting is the hardest part, waiting to play on varsity.
Yeah, it's been a waiting. So obviously I got hired at the end of April, beginning of May. So I didn't coach them last year. And so the first time I met them was this summer. And so it's been nice to kind of work with them. But finally, I think like the third week in July, we finally got nets in our gym. And today we had 6 a.m. practice. That's how we opened it up. And that was the first time that we had 3 nets set up at Horace High School. And so it was kind of fun. We had all 3 nets set up and the girls walked in. We're like, oh my gosh. So we have some new logos on the wall. So it's like, it's way different than what other high schools right now are dealing with, because the girls are walking in, they're like, oh my gosh, there's a hawk on the wall now. Yay, we have a scoreboard. Yay. It's just the little things. Yay, we have enough volleyballs. And so we have, it's really exciting. I feel like every day there's like something new, or like, oh my gosh, we're this much closer to playing our first varsity match. So we have a lot of firsts coming this season, which is exciting.
I've got to imagine that the first time they come out to warm up or just leave the locker room before a game and hear the school song, that is going to be another great moment.
I was talking to them about how they're going to have lockers by the end of this week, and they all were cheering. And so, yeah, it'll be a moment made in history for Horace High School.
Okay, when is Horace's first game?
We play in the Bismarck tournament the last week in August. So we'll go out on Friday and play, I think, 3 to 4 matches, and then play on Saturday as well. So we'll be staying overnight. I know we play Watford City, we play Bismarck Century. So we play lots of teams in the West, which will be some good experience. We do have our first scrimmage this Saturday at Fargo North. And then that following Tuesday after Bismarck, we have our first home game. I think it's August 28th or 29th, that Tuesday.
Well, playing Century, even in this situation, is really going to be throwing your girls into the fire.
Yeah, and we're ready for it. I mean, obviously we have a lot of preparation to do skill-wise and mentality-wise and all that stuff, but you got to start somewhere, and it's now or never, right?
And that's going to be just a matter of playing the 6 girls on the other side of the net, as opposed to adding the baggage of multi-time defending state champions.
Correct. Yep.
Got to keep things in perspective a little bit there. Okay, Hadley Steffen, thank you so much. I'm sure we will be, I know we will be having some West Fargo Horace games on yourliveevent.com. We'll keep people posted on that. Best of luck with the new venture this season. It should be quite an adventure.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate having me on.
And we'll continue with the Coaches Show on yourliveevent.com in just a moment.
At Cass County Mutual Insurance Company, they provide services to homeowners, farm owners, tenants, seasonal dwellings, mobile homes, and farm and personal liability. Cass County Mutual Insurance provides local service to all policyholders and is working with clients in 19 counties in the southeast portion of North Dakota. For more information about Cass County Mutual Insurance Company or to find an agent closest to you, go online to CassCountyMutualInsuranceCompany.com and use their agent locator.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Back again on the Coaches Show here on yourliveevent.com. I'm Joe Lancello, and I had a chance to talk recently to Lisa Strand, the head coach of the Thompson Tommies, about their volleyball season, what they're looking forward to in the coming season. And I'm happy to be joined by Lisa Strand, the coach of the Thompson Tommies volleyball team. Lisa, how are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
And full disclosure, we are recording this prior to the start of practice on Monday the 15th. I'm guessing you've got some idea of how many people you will have back from last year, and certainly how many graduated from last year.
Yeah, we had 5 graduate that contributed immensely to our team, and so we're looking to fill all those spots. There's some good kids coming in, waiting in the wings always. So there's others that are willing to step in and try their hand and fill those spots. But we have 4 that had experience coming back as well, so that's good. And so we'll see what happens when we, fill those open spots. We have a couple of spots to fill, and still working on who might fill them.
Who do you have back that were returning regulars from a year ago?
We have our outside hitter and right side hitter, Clara Stevens, who played last year. We have our libero, our defensive specialist now to be libero, Jordan West. She's back. We also have Summer Haig, who is a hitter. She's back. We have Brenna Martin as well back, and Sydney Schwabe is also back. And Sydney was a setter for us. So we've got a good core. Actually, I think that's 5, but we have a good core coming back, and we're excited to look to see what we can do this season.
Yeah, that setter is the most important thing, because the ball has got to be delivered. Just like when you order a pizza, it's got to be delivered on time.
Yes, definitely. And we try to, we've in the past, we've been running a 6-2 offense with 2 setters. We're going to see what we can find. There's possibility of another that's ready to be a setter as well. And so we've got that possibly. And if not, we could run a 5-1 with Sydney just being the main setter. So we'll see. We still have some options. And of course, with not having practice yet, I don't really know what we're going to do for sure.
Were there any players from last year's junior varsity that gave you some encouragement as somebody who could maybe step up and contribute right away?
Oh yes, definitely. We've got a few players, in passers and hitters that have the option, the opportunity, I guess, and are really working hard to jump into that starting role. So we'll see what happens with that. There's just too many to kind of mention right now. We're not really sure what it's going to look like when we get our lineup figured out. I do a lot of drawing up of lineups and lots of different options, and see what eventually we come up with.
On paper and on whiteboard are one thing, on the court itself is something else again.
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
Now you'll be opening up on the 30th at New Rockford Cheyenne. Mm-hmm. And then the home opener will be on Thursday, September the 1st. That's one of several broadcasts we'll have on yourliveevent.com of Thompson Tommy's Volleyball. Tell me a little bit about those 2 teams and I guess other teams in the region in general.
Well, New Rockford they're going to be strong again. They've got Belquist, that's a great jumper and hitter, as well as a few other supporting casts for her. And so they're going to be a good team to start to open up with, and then playing Carrington, and we also play Langdon right away. So we've got some good challenges ahead of us, we'll call them, for the season. So it's kind of it's good to start off with some tough games. We also have a scrimmage on Saturday the 20th that we've got going on here. There's going to be 9 teams here at Thompson School for that scrimmage. So it'll be fun to see some teams there too, and get a chance to, try out some of these options that we're toying with and see what works for us.
You were 3rd in the state last year. Who's the defending Class B champion, and who are some other teams that might be considered favorites in Class B this year?
Linton, HMB was the champion, and they had a really fantastic team. They will again be tough. They did graduate a strong core of seniors, but they've just got it together and they've figured it out. And they haven't been really tall in the past, but they're just so strong defensively and solid skill-wise. So they're gonna still be tough. Dickinson Trinity, they're gonna be a force as well, way out from the other side of the state though, but they're gonna be tough too because they too didn't graduate very many. We've also got a few teams like our Redeemers and maybe Bish Bryan, of course Langdon, they're gonna be tough again. You're looking at Central Cass, they're gonna be a decent team. You know, we've got a lot of teams, Northern Cass, right in our area too, that are going to challenge a lot of teams. And Mayport has a good core coming back. Cavalier has a good core coming back. So it's not going to be a easy route to get to the state tournament. And once you get there, if that happens, there's going to be some tough competition.
And of the players that graduated from your team last year, will any be playing at the next level this year?
Yes, Bailey Munson has decided that she will play, and she signed with Lake Region. And so actually it's kind of fun because we'll have 3 players at Lake Region. 2 years ago, Madeline Stefanowitz and Lexi Telehay both went to Lake Region, and they both played regularly. So hoping that Bailey can step into a role too and play right away, and they can we can see them all 3 on the court at once. That would be really fun to do.
Sure. Once again, Thompson Tommies Volleyball, our first game on yourliveevent.com will be on Thursday, September the 1st, when the Tommies host Carrington. Lisa Strand, thanks very much for your time today, and I'm sure we'll be talking again as the season goes on.
Thank you, and we look forward to your live events, doing our matches. It's great to have you up on board with us.
All right. We'll be back with more on yourliveevent.com on our coaches show right after this.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms, saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage, our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on yourliveevent.com. The great professional wrestler Ric Flair used to say, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Well, when it comes to Class A volleyball in North Dakota, Bismarck Century is the man, or should I say the team, or the women. Anyway, they are the defending champions. They have won 6 of the last 7 Class A state championships in the state of North Dakota, and I had a chance to talk with Jamie Zastoupil, their coach, a couple of days ago. I'm Joe Lancello, joined by Jamie Zastoupil, the head coach of Bismarck Century, the defending champions in Class A volleyball, and people have been using that term defending champions for quite a while. 6 of the last 7 years, in fact. That's really worth saying congratulations over that.
You know, it's pretty surreal. I guess it just, I don't think about it a ton. Each year we start something new with a different group, and but we've been incredibly blessed. I've got a great coaching staff, and we've been blessed with some amazing athletes and just the work ethic. So it's been a fun ride, and like I said, definitely blessed.
You have a junior Olympic program that helps the development of the players?
You know, a lot of our kids are multi-sport athletes, so we don't have a huge. I mean, they're playing year round, but they're playing with Capital Volleyball Club here in town, which has been a good resource for those that don't play multi-sports. You know, but a lot of our kids are going from volleyball to the next thing to the next thing, so they definitely stay busy.
Tell me about your team last year and what led you to another state title.
The group we had last year had 8 seniors that played. So it definitely was a group that had played together quite a bit, but yet a lot of those kids had never seen varsity time, but they just got along really well and they worked really hard. Were super competitive in practice. And we're a group that they were driven and they had a goal in mind and they were going to do anything they needed to do to do that. I had kids that had to switch positions in order to make the team work, and they were willing to do that without complaining. It was what was best for the team, but it was a group that just worked really hard and worked really well together, and they found a lot of success.
That's something that maybe people don't appreciate about team sports. It's not just having talented players, it's also players that bond and work as a unit.
I mean, that's huge for us. I've had teams in the past that have been really skilled, but they can't compete as a team, and become kind of selfish with what the stats are, what I look like on the floor. And that is definitely not what last year's group was about. It was definitely a team effort, and they made the person next to them look better. And that's what they cared about. And they each bought into their role. Might not have been a role that they thought they were going to have at the end of their junior year, but it definitely was a role that they played, and they played well.
Now, while you lost 8 seniors, you do, I believe, have 2 players back who were on the All-State tournament team last year.
Yeah, so we're returning Logan Nisley. She was the Gatorade Player of the Year for North Dakota last year as a junior. So we're returning her, and then Claire Bauman, big, powerful middle for us. I think she has a vertical like I haven't quite seen before. She's real bouncy. She can jump out of the gym, but and she brings a lot of just energy to the floor.
And we are recording this before the start of actual practice. So any idea of what the rest of your starting lineup would look like? It seems like it might be a little bit premature.
It'll be an interesting year for us. I've got some players that are out right now and won't be able to play due to injuries in the off season. And we're hoping to get them back into the lineup. But I took a group of girls to the University of Wisconsin-Madison team camp this summer, and I took 4 sophomores, 4 juniors, and just 1 senior. It was all we had that were healthy enough to play. And man, those up and coming kids were fun. I mean, they were just like little sponges. They wanted to learn everything. They competed really well. And they were really fun. So I definitely think to start the season, our JV varsity team is going to be very fluid. We're going to bounce back and forth. We're going to see a lot of young kids on the floor, and they're just going to get a lot of reps with the injury the next year to come, and we'll get a lot of that playing time for some of those young kids.
And as a Minnesota graduate, I'm not a big fan of the University of Wisconsin, but I certainly respect their program and what they've done over the years. So That's a good place to go for the kids.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did go to Minnesota a couple of years ago, so we are spreading that around. But so we decided to do something different this year. But yeah, great program. It was a great opportunity for our kids.
Now, what does your schedule look like? When do you open up?
August 26th and 27th, we host the Bismarck crossover tournament. And it's a round robin tournament. East plays against West, and we just kind of get to see what we have. It's a really great opportunity to start trying to figure out some lineups for the season. It doesn't count against your region record or anything like that. It's just an opportunity to play in the East unless it's in this tournament, or other than that, you make it to the state tournament, and that might be the first time you've seen them all year. So it's a good opportunity just to see what other people have, and then how you kind of can compete, and then again, what your lineup's going to look like.
Now, Jamie, who are some of the other teams that you see as being a possible threat, or some other teams that you might see, presuming you do make it to the state tournament once again this year?
I think thinking about the West region, I think we all graduated a lot of seniors. So I think it'll be a little bit of reload season for a lot of people, but I think that, Legacy and Bismarck High and Jamestown, those three are all going to be tough this year. We have a lot of new coaches to our regions. So I think too, Mandan is going to be a tough group. They graduated a lot as well, but West Fargo, although they have a new coach, Cheyenne is going to be good. Davies is always good. Carolyn always has them ready to go. So I think they're going to be tough as well, but a competitive season, I think, just across the board.
Well, we look forward to that when it starts, and hopefully, do you know when you'll be in the Fargo area, when folks would be able to have an easier trip to see you?
Fargo, that tournament is October 7th and 8th.
Okay. Well, we look forward to that. And Jamie Zastoupil, thanks very much. And congratulations on a great run of success. And we'll see if we have another one for the trophy case next year, or this year.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.
One last time on the Coaches Show here on YourLiveEvent.com. We'll have plenty of high school football on Friday. It's opening night for high school football in the state of North Dakota. I'll be over in Thompson along with Kevin Kochmann and Dawson Peterson to talk about the Thompson Tommies and the Grafton Spoilers here on YourLiveEvent.com. Also, we've got Maple River taking on LLM, that game being played in Hope. Hillsborough Central Valley will be hosting Park River, and Central Cass goes to Fargo to take on Oak Grove. All those games on YourLiveEvent.com. You can watch live or watch later, whatever works best for your schedule. I'm Joe Lancello. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be previewing Minnesota high school football next week and have more high school sports coaches to speak to from the area. And that's all here on the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com.